Andy Johnson. We are looking at a skills lesson plan and purpose statements, behavioral objectives versus cognitive objective. First of all, my thinking has changed, expand, evolved, whatever you want, as I read new research, look at new articles, and do more thinking on a subject. To stay the same is to regress. So hopefully we are all evolving. However, the basic skills lesson plan, the elements of effective instruction, you want to keep it simple. More complex does not mean more rigor. There's a lot of very complex teaching algorithms that it makes teaching more difficult rather than less. Basic skills lesson plan is a form of direct instruction, has the 4 parts there. We're going to just look at a purpose statement here, but a skills lesson plan, 5 to 15 minutes in duration. You know, what is the purpose, especially of a reading class, that I'm a literacy professor? The purpose of a reading class is to practice reading. So skills instruction, very direct instruction, should be a part of that, but a small part of that. So when you think about a lesson, you say, what do you want students to learn? Learn about or learn how to do. It's one sentence, and everything that follows should support that sentence. And the purpose statement, how you state this, is important because it determines what type of lesson you teach. Now, I prefer purpose statements because learning is a cognitive endeavor. Sometimes the purpose may be a skill, which looks like a behavior, but it doesn't have to be. That's the main difference between a purpose statement and a behavioral objective. Behavioral objectives put forth by behaviorists say learning is always a behavior that you can observe. So a purpose statement can be a behavior, but it doesn't have to. It's more likely a skill. Students will be able to. That is a skill. So here's some examples. Students will learn about short A sound. This tells me, okay, we're going to do a skills lesson plan, introduce the short A sound in an activity. We don't expect mastery. Students will learn about verbs, what a verb is. Students will learn how to use adjectives. They know what an adjective is. Now we're going to show them how they can use this in the context of a sentence. So that's a show how. Students will be able to recognize words with the AM phonogram. All right, that tells us that we want students to be able to see these words and recognize them in the context of the sentence. Students will be able to identify words with an SH beginning blend. All right, that tells me that students are going to do something in the activity as part of that. Now, worksheets are okay. Worksheets enable you to achieve a lesson purpose, and they're effective tools. But do you really want that to be the purpose of your lesson, to complete a worksheet? We are better than that. Worksheets are tools to get us to a greater end. Students will be able to demonstrate the learning by completing a short. No, absolutely not. Does every lesson have to have a measurable objective? No. Does every lesson need to be assessed? Absolutely not. We have to trust learners to be learners. Learning is a natural human condition. We will do it. But how do we know if learning has occurred? That's the wrong question. The question is, how do we know if teaching has occurred? Look at the process more than the product. Behavioral objectives focus only on the product, and sometimes we get educational malpractice in search of a product. Focus on the process, and the product is more likely to occur. Students will learn about the SH blend. Students will be able to identify words with the SH blend. 2 perfectly good purpose statements, but the type of lessons created are a little bit different.